Joe Biden is sending in the troops. 1,500 active duty soldiers are heading to the southern border ahead of a coming migrant avalanche. They'll get there on May 10th, just a day before Title 42 expires and unleashes the floodgates. Translation: Joe Biden thinks the surge will be a big effing deal. It's a move that drove liberals nuts when the other guy did it, of course. But now the administration is tight-lipped.
In 2018, just before the midterm elections, President Trump ordered 5,200 U.S. troops to fortify the border. At the time, Democrats and former military officials and officers came out against that, saying they were being used for political reasons. How is this different?
Yeah, so, really my focus here is on talking about what we've been asked to do and what we're doing.
And while President Biden sends in troops to deal with the overflow of migrants, his White House press secretary is trying to push a bogus narrative that illegal immigration is down more than 90%. Too bad for her. The Deucenator was on patrol today.
We actually deal with the immigration system in a humane way. You've seen the parolee program be so successful. When it comes to illegal migration, you've seen it come down by more than 90%, and that's because of the actions that this president has taken.
Where did that number come from?
I was speaking.
is telling us the number is.
I hear you. I'm about to answer.
136,000 people more.
I'm about to answer you.
Year so far.
If the dramatics could come down just a little bit. So I was speaking to the parolee program. Data has shown us that it has gone down by more than 90%.
Oh, yeah. Well, if the spin doesn't work, you can always call people racist. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is accusing Texas Governor Greg Abbott of targeting black-run cities with his migrant busing plan.
108,000 cities in New York. 108,000. Governor Abbott sent asylum seekers to New York, black mayor, to Washington, black mayor, to Houston, black mayor, to Los Angeles, black mayor, to Denver, black mayor. I cannot ignore the fact that Governor Abbott sent migrants only to cities with their black mayors and is undermining our cities.
All right. Judge, this always gets kind of infuriating when the race card is pulled, because it's like, if you just try to solve the problem rather than have to deflect. But everybody on the other side blames Joe Biden. Last time I checked, he's not a black mayor. He's a white president.
Well, he's the guy who's letting them in. But the amazing part of this is that there is the mayor from El Paso, who's a Democrat, who is sending them to Chicago, but nobody in New York City, but nobody's talking about that. And I have to make one comment about Lori Lightfoot, where she says she's shocked that many illegals who arrive need food, clothing, and shelter. Is she clueless? I mean, these are sanctuary cities. These are big cities. That's why people are being sent there. These are cities that say, send me your hungry and send me those who want to be protected from the law. But the thing that's most really alarming about this is Karine Jean-Pierre. She comes out and she says, you know what, we have reduced, the number is down 90%. The president is doing a great job. Well, she's full of crap, because it's not down 90, 80, 70, 60. In fact, it's up 10%. And she comes up with some program that she's able to rationalize that wasn't a part of the discussion in the first place. But let's talk about the 1,500 people who are being sent, the active duty troops, to the border. Last year, in the $1.5 trillion omnibus bill, Biden cut Border Patrol by $500 million. And it was amazing that yesterday he was talking about how great the Border Patrol was. He just cut them by $500 million. And now he's saying, you know what, they're doing a great job, and now we have to send more people there. But why are we sending troops there? We're sending them in. We're taking them off of anti-terrorism task forces. We're taking them off of a whole program where we're reuniting families. And we're sending them in so they can welcome them in and then release them. This is a joke.
What do you make of this, Dana?
Well, I suspect that Eric Adams would have liked a heads up about the 1,500 troops going to the border before he threw down the race card. Yeah. The other thing that all of those cities have in common is that they are all sanctuary cities.
Yeah.
And everybody that gets on a bus knows exactly where they're going. And partly they want to go to these cities because that's where a lot of people can find work, and that's where their families are. So that's what is happening there. And also, why don't they ever complain that the white president isn't helping out the black mayors?
Exactly.
Like, whereas, like, they are quick to blame President Trump, who would have sent more money. Right, like he wasn't afraid to be able to say like, okay, well, if here, like in Chicago, dealing with the gun violence, he was like, you want more people? I'll send you some resources, but then they turn him down on that. This is a federal problem to solve, and the mayors are on the taking the brunt of it, but they will not ask the White House for more help. Mm-hmm. They won't turn in that. And the other thing is for Peter Doocy, he's like calm, cool, collected in the briefing room. I do think that he deserves a little bit, either some humility from the press secretary to say, okay, we were talking two different things, appreciate the question, let me go back and reset. Instead, she just says like, okay, I'm moving on, as if that's the answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you didn't like the Doocenator title, did you?
I do like it.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. I mean,
I didn't like how you spelled it. I would have spelled it differently.
Yeah. Well, our writers are on strike, so that's the problem. Jessica, you can't invite somebody to a party and then claim racism when they show up. Isn't that what isn't that what Mayor Adams kind of did? It's like, here's an open door, but if you come, isn't he racist? Because they're Mexican or Spanish, they're Honduran, they're Guatemalan. Maybe he's the racist, Jessica. Are you defending racists?
No, not even a little bit. And I hadn't considered that one and didn't think that's where you were going with it, but I'm glad that we got there.
Yeah,
and everyone is settled. He also, later on in that clip, calls out President Biden. More than any other mayor other Democratic mayor has. And he has done this before, and he's very clear about the fact that the feds owe these cities dollars to be able to deal with the problem that they have created. And I think that that's important. I think more big city mayors or mayors that are getting shipments of migrants should be doing that. Obviously, they're coming because they're sanctuary cities, and I think that Joe Biden should allocate money to be able to accommodate the problem while it's going on. In terms of the 1,500 troops versus in 2018 when Trump sent 5,200, as you guys have pointed out to me many times, this is a different scenario because we have a surge of people coming across the border versus in 2018 when the numbers of people who are coming was much lower. And we know why it's different because we had a 3-year timeout from COVID where we had Title 42 and there were far fewer people that were even trying to get into the country because a lot of them were stuck in the places that they were coming from. So that explains that. And to sending Trump saying, if you want me to send people to your cities, I'm happy to do that. He offered to send ICE agents everywhere, which isn't really sending people that are going to be particularly helpful to migrants.
Well, one, if they're here illegally, that could help. But what I was talking about in particular was about the gun violence, and he said that he would send FBI resources. So that's apples and oranges.
Oh.
Which makes for a nice fruit salad, actually.
She just gave you the fruit salad. That'll be in a highlight reel. Yes. All right, Jesse.
I mean, it's pretty good clickbait. Click away.
Jesse, round out this segment with something
I'm listening to Adams say that it's racist for Republicans to bring illegals out of the shadows. So stupid. Permission to make an analogy?
I think so.
This is like a lawyer complaining that all these people are coming to them with problems. That's what you signed up for. You're a sanctuary city, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the mayor of Martha's Vineyard black or white? I'm going to have to look into that. De Blasio, I believe, was white, right?
Definitely white.
And Rahm Emanuel, was he white?
Pretty white.
Still
Okay.
is.
Why wasn't Texas sending illegals to these white mayors? I'll answer that question for myself. It's because there wasn't a record-breaking amount of illegals that were overflowing the border back then. It has nothing to do with race. Texas is full. Texas doesn't even have a state income tax, and they're still paying for all of these illegals, millions of them. The mayor here is complaining about a couple thousand with more resources than any other city in the entire country. That's ridiculous. Now, I saw on the way into work a illegal immigration family digging through the trash looking for recyclables.
How did you know they were illegal?
You can tell. And
Jesse.
I can tell. I'm a city guy. And you don't want me to get into it, but I can tell. And it is the saddest thing to see because they're not able to work here. They came to work, but they're not able to work here. And the point is this. You have to be able to choose the people that come into the country based on needs. If you need this type of person, you need this type of, bring them in. But to just say, yeah, come everybody in, and then, oops, now people are looking for, a 5-cent bottle, that's not right. And you can't blame the guy down in Texas for that. Joe Biden is the common denominator for all of this. It's like a bad manager that doesn't do his job. Then everybody on the staff's pointing fingers and bitching about the other person. But if the manager would just do their job, everybody could stay in their lane. Texas could focus on Texas, and New York could focus on New York.
You're blaming Joe Biden because he was raised by Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, truck driving Puerto Rican and Jewish people.
Yes, there you go.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.